everyone, this is Shel C from Paper Octio Studio, and I feel like I haven't made a video for a while, but it's really only been maybe 2 weeks. But I've been so busy and I was sick and all these crazy things happened, plus I just kind of lost my mojo and my interest in doing stuff. So I'm back. I have a ton of things planned for February. Um, Ton of things. I have a lot of birthdays in this month, and so I need to make presents. So I'll video those, plus all the other things that I normally do, plus pick a stick challenge and whatever else. So don't worry if you missed me. I am back now, and I want to show you these heart cards that I made. What I was doing was I was playing with a bunch of different paints from Tattered Angels. Some of you know that I agreed to be on the design team for Canvas Corp Brands this year, and Tattered Angels is their paint line. They have a lot of different types of paints. They've got high impact paint. They've got probably the most famous ones, which is the Glimmer Mist. And then this one is the Plain Jane Baseboard paint, which is like a matte version of Glimmer Mist, no glimmer. And they have Glitter Glam, which is a glitter paint, and some Glaze, which has really, really fine glitter in it. There's several different types of products that they have. And since I'm not familiar with most of them, I decided to play with them. And so I have a bunch of different colors of purples and pinks and reds that because I really had this like large Valentine's thing that I was going to make for them, but it's really too late. They wanted it in January. So I'm just playing with some paper and just layering. I'm a mixed media artist, so layers are my thing. I don't just throw one color on there, I throw multiple colors. So I started with the lighter colors, and then I was using some stencils and putting on darker and darker colors and layering them on just to see what I would come up with. This is that glitter glam I was telling you about. It's like a mica paint with glitter in it. It's pretty sparkly, but it's kind of hard to see on video. So I had already been playing for a while before, and I decided I would film this. So those 3 pieces I made on film, but then you can see over there on the right hand side there's some others that I had already played with while I was watching Kraft It Live, actually, which is a YouTube show with Heather Crafter. I was watching, I was playing, and so now I decided I'm going to make some Valentines, or heart cards, which is what I call them. It doesn't have to be Valentine's. They could be, thank you or birthday or whatever. But since Valentine's Day is coming up, obviously I was thinking about that. I have a lot of people to send these to. So I do mixed media cards. I used to do rubber stamping cards. Now I do mixed media cards. That's just the way it goes. In case you're curious about the paper, the white paper is a rather porous cardstock that has some little confetti flakes in it that I've had for a while. And then I decided to use this Kraft colored confetti cardstock to mount my cards on. Now I'm not just going to throw a heart on there. Obviously not. I'm going to collage, because what do? I collage. So I said to myself, I want to make 5 different pieces, and I'm going to tear the papers into 5 different pieces, and then I'm going to alternate and make multi-collaged hearts with different colored papers that I've made. So I really had to think about this, and I realized I need to tear 5 hearts together in order to get 5 different pieces that are relatively similar. Relatively, I mean it's tearing. So I started trying to tear 5 at once, couldn't do that. Took it down to 3, I still couldn't tear it. So I ended up kind of tearing them one at a time, but using each heart that I had just torn as a template laid onto the next one to kind of give the same tear line. I don't want to go completely crazy, or else I'm going to have to put these things back together and it's going to be some puzzle and I'm not going to be able to figure it out. So since I was doing 5 pieces of heart with 5 hearts, then that means I'm making 5 cards. And I have another 5 hearts, and I'm going to make another 5 cards with those later. But I wanted to get this thing filmed and put up before I mess with the other 5. So you won't see me doing that. So then I decided to use some heavier gel, which it's a matte gel. I wish that I had a gloss gel, but I don't seem to have one. Because the reason that I say that is because if it's matte medium, it's going to dull the shine on all that glitter paint and glamour mist and da 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 da. That's shimmery and shiny. It dulls it some. It doesn't completely take it away. This one doesn't, but you know what I'm saying. Also, I was slightly concerned that these mists would not stay put. When I was using them the other day on a different project, I had some problems with the medium mushing around the color and getting it everywhere, and because they didn't feel particularly water resistant. But actually, I didn't have much problem. A little bit, but not. I was planning on making these pretty grungy anyway. That's why I used the Kraft cardstock. So I wasn't going to be completely freaking out if I got a little bit of transfer of the color into the medium. But the reason that I'm using a heavier medium is because this is cardstock, and cardstock is a lot harder to glue down than your thinner collage papers. So I went ahead and used this gel type of adhesive. And they're wiggling a little bit because I'm putting so much glue on there. They're sliding around, and I'm like, stay put, because I wanted to line them right up. I guess I didn't mention. I used my heart template that I had made to cut out the hearts. I just used the same template and drew a light pencil line so that I would know how to line up the hearts and get them all straight to line up all the different little pieces. And don't you worry about that stack of scraps either. I'll make something out of those, probably more Valentines. Don't you worry, I'll use it all up. And if I don't, I'll put them in my color boxes. No waste. But this is pretty fun, and this is something that you could even do, with kids. Maybe if you wanted to, a little simpler version of the tearing or something. I don't know, but I don't have any tiny kids to try it out on, so spraying those mists is pretty fun. You do get a lot of stain on your hands, but it washes off. So I'm just finishing this up. This is now sped up to 8 times, so I look like a super speed demon. It's pretty awesome. I wished I could move that fast. All the colors, if you guys are interested in what colors I used on these, there's like peaches and pinks and some kind of coppery burgundy colors and some purples. They're all really pretty. I'll put them in the down below so that you can see which colors I used in case you're curious. So I'm just, putting all the hearts together. It's a thing. That purple one has the high impact paint as the base, and then it has some sprays over the top, and it's the only one I'm really having any trouble with the color transfer because the mists are on top of a acrylic, kind of a harder paint, so the mists didn't soak into the paper as much. So it makes a little bit of a mess, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. It's not white cardstock in the background, so it's no big deal. So now that I have all my hearts together, I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. And this is where I will mention Happy Mail. I got my first YouTube Happy Mail. Man, that is so cool when a package just shows up from somebody, and and yeah, I remember I was in some of my other videos, I was whining about how I didn't have any magazines because I don't collect magazines to do collaging with and stuff like that. And so this girl who's a viewer, Katie, she's my new friend. She was like, "Oh yeah, I have some from the library and I'll send you some." I'm like, "Oh, really?" She did. And she didn't just send me magazines, she sent me other stuff. She sent me these hearts. That's why I'm talking about it. These little hearts, doilies, tiny little doilies. And I was trying to use them, but they were just slightly too big and didn't really go with my project. So I will use them again. But you saw me spraying them with the sprays. It works great. You could make them any color. And they're shimmery too, although you can't really see it on the video. So I'll definitely be using them on some Valentine projects. So thank you, Katie. That's awesome. I was so happy and blessed that somebody just wanted to send me stuff. It was really cool. now I've decided that I want to make some shadows around the outside of the hearts to make them stand out more on the paper. And so I got out a couple different Stabillos, and then I decided that I wanted a colored, not black, not white, but some color. And I thought maybe a dark brown would be nice. So I got out one of my Inktense pencils to try it out with the dark brown, and then I'm using my flat water brush to blend it. Now Inktense is a little bit of an interesting pencil. It's ink, it's not watercolor. So it does activate with water. When it's in its dry form, it activates with water. But then once that water is dry, it's set like ink. It's actually a pretty cool product. It's made by Derwent. So I haven't used them as much as, I thought I had to have them and I was going to use them all the time, and then I haven't been using them that much. But I will. I use everything, so I will get around to using them. I got a lot of new stuff in a short amount of time because my best friend and my family were so generous in wanting me to have every art supply that I wanted. And I decide maybe purple. The first one was a dark brown, and this one is purple with a red hue to it. And then I end up picking a different purple with a blue hue to it later. Just trying to decide what I like the best. But I do really like this process, and I'm spattering them. That's white acrylic paint with my fan brush. Just not making them pristine and perfect, but more of a grungy look. Still wanting to use those doilies. I want to use them, but it didn't match my project. It didn't match my heart. Although I did end up using the one that I sprayed with the Kraft color. I cut out the small heart and used it on one of my cards. It has a small heart at the bottom that says "with love" on it, embossed onto the doily, and I used that one. But I was kind of tempted to just sit there and spray like every single color that I have there, which is about 10 colors maybe. I don't know how many I have, but wanted to try every single color on a doily. They're cool little heart doilies. Paper, of course. I'm sure you figured that out. They're not the crocheted ones, obviously. So I think I went back to my, no, this is the blue toned purple. And I was kind of filling in some of the places where the ripping wasn't exactly perfect in it. At first I was going to fill in all those little gaps with my scraps, but then I thought, you know what? I don't mind them. They're fine the way they are. My white acrylic paint is out, so I have to get some more. Not very much splatter came off on that. And then I think I went back to the brown again. Only I did it really heavy this time. It almost looks black. I think that step really makes a difference. It makes them stand out. So I wouldn't skip it. More splatters. This is a fun project. I hope somebody tries it out there in the YouTube universe. Get yourself some sprays. You probably already have some sprays. It doesn't matter which ones they are. I guess as long as they're red or pink or purple, I wouldn't think... you could make blue hearts or green hearts. It really wouldn't matter. But it wouldn't necessarily be a Valentine's project as much as just a general heart. But hearts are good for everything. Saying I love you anytime, anytime, anytime is the best thing to do. We don't say it enough. So there I cut out a smaller heart from one of the scraps. And this one has the rose gold high impact paint on it. And it's a metallic. So it's kind of like a pinky gold metallic paint. I just picked random, like I couldn't get every single paint that they have. They have, I don't know, a few hundred. So I tried to get one of each sort of paint so that I could try them out. And rose gold metallic seemed cool. And it is. That's why it's so shiny. And then it has some of the purple mist over the top of it. But not sure which color. I'll have to just list them below. Some color of purple. So then I get some cardstock, and these are cardstocks are from Stampin' Up that I've had forever. Probably the colors are discontinued. I don't know. That one's eggplants, maybe, or I can't remember. But I end up using some purple, some burgundy, and then like a kind of almost a blue in the end. Kind of a bluish purple in the end. And the other 5 hearts, I'm going to probably try to make them. See, these ones to me seem like they're almost. You could send these to a guy. I mean, you could send them to a girl too, but they're sort of almost masculine. Look in their look. Now I've got some alphabet stamps, and I'm going to stamp on there. These are from Stampin' Up also. And I'm using archival ink, even though I'm not planning on putting more layers. That was there on my desk. So that's what I grabbed. Now this one I felt like it still needed something. I was trying some different metal things and just couldn't come up with anything. I thought some ribbon maybe, but I'd already glued it down. So I got out some seam binding, which makes fantastic ribbon that you can color coordinate by spraying it. I hadn't heard of this stuff, and then my friend Heather Crafter told me about it, and she gave me some samples, and I had to have some, so I ordered that humongous roll of it. It's not expensive at all. I ordered it from Amazon. And then you can just spray, and it makes a great it's kind of got a shine to it, and some type of a thin polyester. It takes the color great. So I recommend that, seam binding, if you like to use sprays. But of course, the other card that I was working on, I couldn't put the ribbon on that because I'd already glued it to the back. So I put it on the next one. And then I decided, yeah, I'll tear the top and bottom and see how that looks, because I really like the look of the torn heart. Looks pretty cool. And then pretty soon coming up, I believe that I got interrupted and had to go somewhere, turned off the camera, and then never turned it back on. So this is the last one you'll see me do, but you'll see all the rest of them in the close-ups. And while the close-ups are on, I will talk to you about what's on them. Okay, that's the first one that I did, and then see how I cut out the little doily heart, and then I put a little brad on there. This is the one with the dyed to match ribbon. That's the second one, and I found a stamp that said love you. This one has some copper wire and a button, and then some copper cardstock at the bottom. And this one has copper cord and cardstock at the bottom. I like copper. And then this one, I put some more of that gold Glimmer Glam over the top, and then I put gold with it.